Hey everybody, big welcome back. And today I am bringing you another flight vlog with my DJI MAVIC Mini, which is a great little drone, and I could have lost it. Its life was threatened. I'm sure you could see from the thumbnail, somebody launched an attack. Basically, I felt like it was the start of World War III. And so, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that. You're going to see in the video. I decided not to edit the video down. At first, I was going to cut it down and just give you that clip, but ultimately, as we're flying up here towards our point of attack, I'll tell you that this is something called Dundas Peak, and it's kind of like a lookout over the city or whatever. Well, Dundas is kind of like a little townish thing that's part of Hamilton, Ontario. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about it. You can Google it if you want some more detail. And anyhow, I've never flown here before. I thought of it several times, but just due to weather or whatever the case was, I never got out here. But today I was working out in Dundas and I saw the peak and I was like, all right, I'll pop the drone up for a few minutes, get a little look around. All I know is that there's some waterfalls nearby and a little river. I knew about that and the peak, of course, but I don't really have a whole lot of other detail. I know that people come here and take selfies and make out and shit like that, but anyway. So I'm coming up here, minding my business, trying to get a view of the rocks from above. And then I want to make sure that I can lower down, safely. I don't want to hit anything. So looking around at my surroundings, and I'm like, oh, actually, there's people up there. And I could see on my display that the people were like waving or something. Like I could see that they were making gestures at me. So I was like, oh, maybe they want to say hi. I've had that before where people kind of wave and say hello. I had some sailors on a ship one time that have done that. I've had people down in like Daytona Beach. Anyway, didn't think much of it. So I come lowering down. Originally, my plan was to lower down as if we were looking off, like, where you would be standing. I had a really good vantage point from where I am to where the drone is. Like, it's not actually that far away from me. So I was thinking, oh, I just drop down a bit, look around. And then I could see the wind blowing on the trees. So I was thinking, at this point, I'm just thinking, all right, I better be careful because there was no wind where I was at all. But obviously, once you got on top of the hill, that's where the wind was. So now I just kind of look up to see once again kind of my orientation, and I see her walking. I thought she was just going to come and wave or give me the finger or something like that. As soon as I saw her turn that way and start walking, I was like, uh-oh, here we go. I know what this is. I've seen this on YouTube before. And there she goes, throws it, and boom, the rock actually flies by the corner of the screen. That was her best try. So she's not that good of a pitcher, I guess, but in all honesty, if she had hit the drone, I probably would have laughed. Um, you know what? That would have been epic. It almost would have been worth it. The drone's not that expensive anyway. It's only $500. That's even if it came out of the sky. These things can handle a bit of a midair collision. I think I've seen enough videos of people that get hit by birds or attacked by birds and all that. So would have been kind of cool, I guess. But anyway, that was my last little interaction with her. I think it's safe to say that we are not friends. Um, Now we can kind of have a look around at the view. This is all I wanted. My only intention was originally to have just a couple of minutes quick flight here, check it out. I had other things I had to do, so I wasn't planning on being out here for very long. And it's a beautiful area. It's kind of, we're at our ugly season right now. We're kind of coming into the end of winter, so everything's brown, but we don't really have any snow on the ground, so it just kind of, blah, you know what I mean. Although I got to tell you, it's up here we've had almost no snow this winter. Very, very little compared to what we would consider a normal amount for southern Ontario. So we've been pretty lucky because I am tropical AF. I don't like the snow. I don't like the cold. Well, I'm gonna have to retract my statement. I say I don't like the snow. I like the snow when I used to have a snowmobile, dressed up warm, proper, snow pants, boots, gloves, long sweater, whatever, all that. I used to have a blast on my snowmobile, and I really was tempted to get one this year. I was like, all right, well, I've got a garage now, I've got somewhere to put it, but I didn't end up getting one, and I'm actually glad I didn't, because if I had bought a snowmobile and had the snow we've had, I would have been super uber pissed because there was no real good time to use it except for heading up north or something like that. So I used to, many years ago, if you go back in my videos like 12 years ago or something like that, used to live on a farm, rented a farmhouse out in St. Mary's, Ontario, and had, several acres and whatnot. So there was plenty of room for snowmobiling, and I had my four-wheeler and, you know, all that fun stuff. But I haven't had any toys in a while, but right now we're kind of off track from the drone video here. But anyway, while I was flying here, I was looking around thinking it would have been sick if a train had come in because I would have lowered down to try to make a cool video of that. But we weren't quite that lucky. So I will tell you though, I did experience my first blackout screen today with my drone, and normally when I fly, so I'm using a Samsung S9 Plus, and normally when I fly, I know the DJI app can be a little bit wonky and crash sometimes. So normally I hit Do Not Disturb on my phone, and I close out all other apps ahead of time, except for screen recorder if I'm doing screen recording. So today being that I was kind of rushed to quickly just pop this up, I didn't close out my other apps. So up here, I'm flying along this river, checking it out, and I was trying to see where the waterfall was because I was up in the general area not that long ago, but it wasn't a day that I could fly it, and I was up by a waterfall. But anyway, so here when I pause, that's actually my screen just went completely black, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I didn't know if it was my cable came unplugged or what, but it wasn't like the DJI app froze or something. I mean, the screen on my phone went completely black, and I pushed the home button, and nothing happened. And so for that few seconds there, it wasn't, a long time or anything like that, but for that few seconds there, I was really confused with what I ended up having to hit the power button on my phone and reconnect the screen. And when I did that, the DJI app was at the connect to aircraft button. And so once I finally land, I realized that all that footage up until that pause did not save on my phone. It saved on the drone on the memory card because record was going, but I found that odd. I personally feel this was probably not a DJI issue. It was probably something with my phone because I never lost communication with the drone, obviously. Like, you know what I mean? I never initiated return to home or anything like that. So, which it wouldn't have been a big deal. Like I'm right just on the other side of these buildings. I'm right there. I'm not very far, but and I had great signal. At no point was I losing signal or anything. So I just found it odd, and that I guess it reiterates to me the fact that I need to close out these apps first because I have a feeling that it's just like, I've got a phone case on my phone. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just working the phone too hard and it overheats. I know I used to have a Samsung Note 4 or 3 or whatever. And when I'd use the DJI app, my phone would get like hot. And then sometimes it would crash, like it would freeze. So anyway, it's just something I figured I would mention and I will be mindful of. So there's me in my truck right there. And no Tony today. If any of you know my buddy Homeless Tony HT, he likes to join me on my flights sometimes, but he wasn't around today. So, I flew this flight. So this is all me. Um, this little waterfall thing, I know, like, kind of, that's not the most interesting video after the throw. I've probably lost like 95% of my audience at this point. But anyway, this thing, I could hear water rushing, but I didn't know where. I just knew it was on the other side of the building, so figured I'd give a quick peek, see what's going on here. If I had to guess, I would say that this was a natural waterfall at one point, and then they decided to concrete it off to force that water to make that 90-degree turn. I don't know why. I imagine somewhere on Google is the answer to all that. But anyway, I just thought it was pretty cool. I could picture, like, trying to fly off it on a kayak. Like, that'd be sick because I'm like a pro kayaker and I like, do competitions and stuff. I'm going to tell you honestly, I just made all that up. That is a complete lie. I haven't kayaked since I was probably like 7 years old. I used to go to camp when I was a kid and did it there. That's the last time I've been in a kayak. But I just wanted to keep the story interesting. Anyway, so yeah, I was sitting there trying to just look at that water. And when I was paused there, I was actually talking. There was a couple gentlemen that walked by and they said, "Oh, are you flying a drone?" And I was like, "Yeah." And, they were quite happy about it. They're like, "Oh, how far can it go?" You know, the usual questions. Anyone that flies a drone in a public place knows those questions. Anyway, it was just that, and then they continued on with their day. You know, of course, does it have a camera on it and all that and whatnot. So it'd be nice to actually get back out here when I have more time to maybe do, you know, get a little closer to some of these waterfalls or something and see how big they are. I have no idea. Just kind of from where I was and watching on my phone, I don't even know what all that was about. But anyhow, I guess we're wrapping it up. I'm coming back in for a landing, so I want to thank everyone for joining me today, and then hopefully you will subscribe if you haven't already, and you can check out some more of my videos. I do a lot of flight vlogs, and I also do some other stuff like, you know, reef tank hobbies and off-roading, and I've got a bunch of other stuff too. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time.